Hi, this is Murder Kitten, and you've got Deep Dives. You've probably heard a lot of chatter about the post office these days, so in light of the Friday night massacre of 23 Postal Service executives, the USPS is today's Deep Dive with Murder Kitten. The post office was established as a government service, almost like a utility, in the U.S. Constitution. Because the countryside was still teeming with redcoats who would intercept messages, folks who delivered the mail via the constitutional post were considered to be patriots and were trusted with great and important secrets. Benjamin Franklin was our first postmaster general. I bet you didn't know that. It was way back in 1775, which is probably why you didn't. Abraham Lincoln was a postmaster, and so was Harry Truman. So that's cool. Mail used to be delivered twice a day until the 50s, when it dropped down to just once a day. Mail carriers deliver mail to all of the most remote corners of the U.S., as well as to the busiest city centers. Post offices used to be banking centers, until banks put the kibosh on that, shutting the 25% of the populace out of banking services and making them turn to very evil payday lenders. In some states, the USPS is one of the largest employers. In Virginia, they employ over 17,000 people. In addition, the USPS is one of the largest employers of veterans at almost 100,000 men and women across the country. So here are some of the things that the United States Post Office has done or continues to do. Delivers a letter door to door from Key West for 55 cents to rural Alaska. It would cost about $9 to $31 via Federal Express if Federal Express even went to that location in rural Alaska. It delivers 1.2 billion prescriptions a year and 100% of the medications for veterans. The USPS also, through the franking privileges, allows elected officials like congressmen and senators to send mail to their constituents for free. While this is an excellent way for your senator and congressperson to get a hold of everyone in their district, they often read like campaign flyers even though they're not supposed to. And so like the way Trump's rallies are supposed to be paid by his campaign and not by taxpayers, maybe we should do away with franking privileges as a way to save the post office a little cheddar, huh? But I digress. Anyway, there's all this nonsense from the right about how the post office is losing money and how it should be more competitive, and all this bullshit barking from Trump that it is because of the lack of competition or something. I don't even know, because it is just stupidness. So, all this plays into the narrative that the USPS is not self-sufficient, and some of you out there are thinking, wow, they are really a terrible government agency losing all that money and so bloated. And to you I say, shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down, because up until 2006, the post office was operating on a per annual basis at about $900 million in the black. Then George Bush and Congress got a hold of it and passed the U.S. Postal Accountability and Enhancement Act in an attempt to push the USPS towards privatization, because conservatives never saw a government agency they didn't want to gut, except maybe the Department of Tax Cuts for Millionaires, I guess. Now, enhancement sounds good, but what it did do was require the post office to prepay 50 fucking years of health insurance for its employees, as well as $5 billion a year for 10 years into a fund for pensions, and put a cap on any first-class price increases. Can you even imagine if any business tried to operate in that fashion? So within 3 years of that most insane act, the USPS was operating at a $3.8 billion loss. Who's surprised? And here's where the new Postmaster General is about. He restructured the upper level of executives at the USPS on Friday amid complaints about slowing mail, and decided less than 90 days before the election that a mail-in ballot will now cost municipalities 55 cents instead of 20. We're not exactly sure how he didn't just say that it would cost more in blue states, but I'm sure that's coming. In addition, the Postal Service will implement a hiring freeze and will ask for voluntary early retirements. It will also realign into 3 operating units: retail and delivery, logistics and processing, and commerce and business solutions, and scale down from 7 regions to just 4. In addition, with most of the United States' office force working from home during the pandemic, he refused any mail carrier or mail sorting overtime, so mail has been stacking up undelivered for weeks. Important mail: medications, checks, bills, stuff people need to live. So here's the kicker. Mr. DeJoy, Postmaster General, owns between $30 and $75 million worth of assets in USPS competitors. And then mix in a little bit of vote by mail is rife with fraud from your favorite Nazi Cheeto president, and you've got yourself a full-on gutting of what is our only public utility. So if you are as horrified as we are, call your congressperson and your senators and let them know that you are not up for gutting the USPS and that you would have sent a letter, but you're not sure it would have gotten there in any kind of timely fashion. And remind them that you'll still vote, even if the president tries to stifle you. And that's your deep cut.